Do you ever do that thing where it's supposed to be like a very casual event, just a couple of people coming over, and then all of a sudden you've made it into this whole production and everything has to be coordinated and you're trying to decide if you should fold your napkins all weird? Yeah, this is my story of that. Come along with me as I plan this girl dinner. So my friend group and I have like this monthly dinner series that we do. It's called Girl Dinner. I know, very original. But basically we switch off every month who hosts, and we just go to whoever's house it is that month and have a little home cooked meal. We usually do some kind of activity. And it's just a really good time to like have on the calendar that we know we'll see each other monthly, especially now that we're getting older. We have all these other things going on. It's good to like have that one thing in the calendar. So that's one thing I really like about it. The other thing is that it is cheaper than going to a restaurant, so that is a perk. It's also really nice to try out cooking new meals. I don't really cook meals like that, especially like living alone. I don't know, it's nice to have an excuse to make like a 3-course meal or whatever. We always do some kind of little activity. I can name a couple in the past. We've done like candle painting. One of my friends had us make friendship bracelets. This was like before we went to the Taylor Swift concert. We have bedazzled lighters in the past. What else have we done? Oh, one time my friend just put like this big coloring sheet down on the table, and so we like had markers and we were just kind of coloring the whole dinner, and that was really great. That was just like something little to do with our hands. It definitely doesn't have to be anything crazy, the activity, but we always have a little something to do, which is really fun. So our activity this time is actually going to be pumpkin painting. It's a lot better than pumpkin carving. It won't be as messy. So yeah, that's the activity this time. I'm really excited about it. Along with the spooky themed activity, I'm gonna make my house kind of transform into like a little witch's den. Honestly, it won't take that much because I feel like my house is always kind of like a little witch's den, but I'm gonna turn up the ambiance. I'm gonna make sure that like the guests feel comfortable when they get here and kind of feel like they're in like a little spooky lair. Nothing too crazy, just, you know, setting the vibe. So first things first, when it comes to hosting a dinner party, you have to clean. And I know we're all annoyed because our parents were always like, go clean your room, we have people coming over. But like, they were right, okay, fine. No, but seriously though, I feel like everybody has their own version of that, where it's like, oh, I have people coming over, let me clean. Like, I'm definitely not the kind of person that's gonna like scrub the baseboards. No offense to my friends. I'm talking more of a general pickup, you know? I feel like having people over is kind of an excuse to look at your house with fresh eyes. Kind of pretend like you're a stranger walking into your front door. Like, what are you gonna see? That's kind of the level of clean that I do, where I'm like, okay, this thing has been like sitting here for a while. I'm gonna go ahead and like pick it up, find a place for it, or just put it where it goes. This is things like the iPhone charger that I have just like laying across the living room all the time. Or maybe it's giving all of your like throw blankets a wash. That's something that I can sometimes forget to do, but if I'm hosting and I'm thinking to myself like, oh, my guests are probably gonna want a blanket when they're sitting on the couch, I'm like, oh, okay, I should probably go wash those blankets. So it's just little things like that. Having that fresh perspective of knowing that people are gonna come over is kind of a really good incentive to get your house cleaned up. And so that was step number 1. That's what I did first. Another good one that I always try to consider is, where are my guests gonna put their shoes and their coat when they get here, especially if it's in the winter. I mean, this is October, so there's a slight chance that they'll be wearing jackets. Honestly, with the way that this October's been going, maybe not. Honestly, I think the day that I hosted this, it was like 80 degrees, so maybe not jackets, but it's something that I consider. The next thing I'll do to prep for a party, in this apartment especially, is move my craft table out from the wall to become a like dining table. especially living in a small space, you have to become a little bit crafty, no pun intended, since it is my craft table. But you have to kind of be creative when it comes to how to host people, because I'm not the kind of person that needs like a 4-seater dining table all the time. I don't really eat there. This is actually the first time I'm hosting dinner since I've gotten this table. And I'm really excited to have like that secondary option. We used to eat at the couch on my coffee table, and so it's good to have like another spot. When it comes to hosting a dinner party by yourself, it's really nice to start like a day before. So now that I'm done giving my house a good baseline clean, I'm actually gonna head out and go to Home Depot. I have a couple of things that I need to pick up. One of them is butcher paper. I want to do butcher paper as like a tablecloth and like draw on it. I need to get the pumpkins that we'll be painting. There was another thing on my list now and I've forgotten what it is. Let me go get my list, 1 minute. Oh, it was paper plates. I'm gonna see if they have any paper plates so that I can use that to put the paint on. I probably could have used, I just threw out or like recycled a cardboard box that a package came in. I should have used that as like my, like the place to put the paint before it goes onto the pumpkin. But I accidentally threw it away, so I'm gonna have to get paper plates. Not the most eco-conscious thing. I really don't like to buy disposable stuff, but I also don't have anything else that I can put paint on. I'm still not finished with it, but when I was painting my archway, I was putting my paint on one of these ceramic plates, and I know that the paint will come off, but on that outside ring you can see that it like dried onto the plate and it's pretty stuck on there. So paper plates it is, unfortunately. I hate it, but what can you do? So going into this, I was really excited about having people eat at my new table. I had an idea for like a tablescape with my plates that I really like. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought that like, if we ate at the table, then we would have to paint pumpkins on the coffee table, like in the couch area. And I don't really love the idea of my friends having paint on my like rug and couches. Love them to death, but I don't think I trust them with paint on things that can get ruined. So as much as I wanted to do like a tablescape, I think I'll have to save that for next time. And so this time I decided to do pumpkin painting at the craft table, and then we just ate on the couch, like on the coffee table. So I got some butcher paper to use as a tablecloth. I originally saw some inspiration for it to be used as like a dinner tablecloth, but then I kind of thought about it and I was like, no, this is perfect for painting pumpkins because I can lay it down and not worry about people getting things dirty. And then since we're gonna be eating at the coffee table couch area, I just did a little centerpiece there with some candles and this cauldron that I have that I filled with little like white chocolate Reese's Ghosts. By the way, the white chocolate Reese's Ghosts are so much better than the real chocolate ones. We are back. It's the next day. I'm wearing the same skirt. Cause like how dirty can a maxi skirt actually get in one day? Don't judge, alright? It is what it is. Anyway, as you saw last night, I set up the pumpkin carving table. I put out these little, look at these. I put out these little cups that I got from like the dollar section at Target. They're so freaking cute. They also light up, but you need like a screw to undo the bottom part. and the lights on them are like bright blue and bright red. So I'm not really into that part of it, but just, come on. That little touch of spooky in the decor, I think, makes up for the fact that the menu is not themed. So the hardest part for me in a dinner party is deciding when to start cooking. I don't want to be in the kitchen when my guests get here, especially with the way that my apartment is laid out. I'm kind of like, if I'm in the kitchen, you can't really talk to me from the living room, and there's not really a good place to like hang out in the kitchen. So I try to avoid like being in the middle of cooking when my guests are arriving. But at the same time, I don't want to have finished too early and then the food starts to get cold. So I decided to start cooking about an hour and a half before guests were supposed to arrive. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm cooking, I do not really measure much of anything. Is that bad? I kind of just measure with my heart. 2 cloves of garlic. We'll go ahead and say that like, that's 1 clove, that's 2 cloves. Half a cup of breadcrumbs. Say like that much? Sure. So I know that an Asian inspired menu doesn't really go with the like spooky season theme. But I had our October girl dinner last year, and that was when I did like themed foods. I'm trying to remember what I made last year. I know I made like these mummy little like mini weenie dogs wrapped in puff pastry. They looked like little mummies. My gosh, why can I not remember at all what I made last year? But it was all very like finger foods. It was like themed Halloween. And if I'm being 100% honest, the food didn't really taste that good. Yeah, just none of it really turned out that well. So I figured this year, instead of being all like creative with the menu, I'm gonna make food that will actually be good. And then all the decorations can be spooky themed. Oh, I remember I did, I had my little skeleton guy sitting on like a little platter, and I wrapped him up in prosciutto so it looked like he was, like his muscles were exposed. It was kind of gross actually, but love prosciutto. Next we're gonna do the baby bok choy. It's really easy, I'm just gonna roast them. Let's do it. These meatballs ended up being so good. I would highly recommend. The sauce that they were in, oh. I was serving warm apple cider, and then I also had like cold apple cider that I just kept out of the warm apple cider. So those are 2 options, and then water and wine. This warm apple cider was so good. It was, I would say, like 2/3 apple cider, 1/3 orange juice, with some apple slices inside of it. Oh my gosh, it was so simple, but so good. I got this apple cider from the farmer's market, so that's probably why it was so good. It was just like that right amount of spices and delicious. So since the menu itself wasn't like spooky themed, I tried my best to like add in little bits of fall wherever I could. I really wanted to make sure that the vibe in my apartment was that like spooky, witchy kind of a vibe. So I made sure to set the ambiance. I lit some candles through my apartment. I set out the little cups. I turned the lights down and made them really warm so that it was kind of like an orangish, reddish glow in the apartment. I also put on Practical Magic on the TV, just like as some background noise or whatever. Some of my friends, when they showed up, said that they had never seen Practical Magic, so I'm really glad I put that on because it's iconic. The vibes in that movie are impeccable. I want the house, I want the outfits. So the timing for this actually worked out really great. My first guest arrived just as I was finishing up the meatballs. So when she got here, she asked if she could help with anything. So I put her to work chopping up the cucumbers. I had already used my mandolin to cut the carrots into like little matchsticks. So she just needed to cut up the cucumbers while I finished the meatballs and the bok choy and the rice. And then we made the little cucumber salad. I didn't get any footage of the cucumber salad because once my friends started to get here, I kind of put the camera away and just was trying to be present. But once my friend had finished slicing up all the cucumbers, I just added some soy sauce, mirin, chili flakes, MSG, obviously, oyster sauce. What else did I put in there? Sesame seeds. I think that was it. And we just like shook it up and then put it in a bowl. So I don't actually have any footage of like the final event or the meal, but let me tell you, it was amazing. It was really good. I got a lot of compliments on the food, which was great. I got a lot of compliments on my apartment, which is also really fun. They said that they love coming over every time because it's just like a cozy little like den. And I really take that as a compliment because I try my best to make my house cozy. And to have my friends appreciate it was really nice. So we ate our dinner, we had Practical Magic on, we just like talked and hung out for a couple of hours, and then after dinner we moved over to the craft table and we painted pumpkins. At that point we put on Casper, the Friendly Ghost. That one's always a good classic. Also, I didn't realize that the little girl in Casper was also Wednesday. We put it on and we were like, who is that? Took a minute, but we got there. We were like, oh my gosh, that's Wednesday. Like original Wednesday, not Jenna Ortega Wednesday. I'll see if I can put up any pictures or clips of the pumpkins. One of my friends did little white ghosties all over their pumpkin with little faces on each one. I thought that was really cute. Another one of my friends went like the floral route. That one turned out really well. I kind of went rogue and just painted it as if I was 5 years old. So that one is like not very cohesive or aesthetic, but it was really fun to do. So this one's mine. And then my favorite one was my friend Rachel painted her pumpkin to look like a tomato. So it was like all red. She painted the stem green. And then she put like a little zipper, like she painted a zipper on the back to make it look like a pumpkin that was dressed up as a tomato for Halloween. I know, that was the cutest thing in the world. All in all, the night was a huge success. I love having my friends over. It really didn't need to be as big of a production as I made it, but it was kind of fun, you know? It's nice to host every now and then and to get the creative juices flowing and to put a lot of care into hosting your friends, even though I see them all the time. They wouldn't care if my house was a mess and I served pizza. Like, that could have been the vibe too, but instead I did this. With all of that being said, thank you so much for coming along with me on this little hosting journey. I'm glad that you stuck to the end. I do appreciate it. Hosting can be a lot of work, but it's really rewarding if at the end of the night you've created some space where your friends can just like come and be comfortable, be relaxed, have a good time, and connect. That's definitely the goal of hosting. And I feel like I accomplished it this year. So I'm excited to do it again in the future. Not for another 3 months. I'm not that excited. I'm definitely happy to let my friends host for the next few months, but it will be my turn again. And if you want me to take you on the journey for my next one, I think I have March next. So let me know if you want to see like a St. Patrick's themed dinner party. Anyway, thanks for coming along with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.